Now, the reason why the iPhone SE is getting a lot of hype and attention is because of the price. Apple making a phone which costs just under $400, $399 for the base model is crazy. Like, it hasn't been seen before, especially with the latest processor, the A13 Bionic processor. So a lot of people are making noise about it, and I've done a couple of reviews of some Android devices which are also priced around the same price range, like $400. So today I'm going to see if we compare the iPhone SE to some of the best Android devices you're going to get around $400, how is it going to stack up against those Android devices? Is it going to fall completely on its face, or is it going to be able to compete toe to toe? And to kick off that comparison, today I'm going to compare the iPhone SE to an Android phone which is currently also riding the hype wave, the Huawei Nova 5T. Now, the Huawei Nova 5T is one of the most trending phones you're going to get within the $400 price range. And so without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Cyber Reviews. Now, if you are new to my channel, I do mobile phone reviews, mobile app reviews, and I bring to you affordable, amazing tech gadgets to help you make an informed decision whenever you're making your next purchase. So if you like that kind of content, please click on the subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any episode. Now let's get straight into the comparison. First of all, we are going to talk about the design. When you look at the iPhone SE, like I said, it looks the same as the iPhone 7, at least on the surface of it. You are going to find it very difficult to tell, apart from the fact that at the back of it, we have the iPhone, the Apple logo being moved to the center of the device, and also it is made of glass at the back, which means it has wireless charging. But form factor, the same 4.7-inch display, the same, form factor like what we have on the iPhone 7, iPhone 8. It also has a fingerprint sensor, same button layout on the left-hand side, same power button on the right-hand side, same one camera on the back, and lightning ports at the bottom with dual stereo speakers, and same very terrible battery. But today we are not comparing the iPhone SE to the iPhone 7. Today we are comparing the iPhone SE to the Huawei Nova 5T. So let's get straight into the video. So first of all, let's talk about design. Like I said, this phone is similar to the iPhone 7, and if you've watched my other videos, I really like the iPhone 7 because of the form factor. Like, apart from the fact that it's small, it fits in my hand easily, it feels very good. Like, it feels way better than my iPhone X that I have, and it feels more like the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Like, it has this really great solid build. Now, the Huawei Nova 5T is a phone I really liked. In fact, if you watch my review, you know that I loved it. The design is just amazing. The way it catches the light at an angle and reflects so many gradient colors is really nice. The build quality is also good. It has glass at the back, though it's not enabled for wireless charging. So at least in that regard, the iPhone SE has an advantage if you are like a fan of wireless charging. If you are not though, then the Huawei Nova 5T in terms of design is really good. If you're used to the Apple design, the iPhone designs, and you're coming from like an iPhone 4, 5, 6, then you'd kind of be used to what you're going to get with the iPhone SE. But if you want a very more modern look, then the Huawei Nova 5T is the best phone for you to get. Now, in terms of cameras at the back, we are not talking about the camera and picture processing quality, but we are just talking about a number of cameras. The Huawei Nova 5T has 4 cameras at the back, 1 in front. The iPhone SE has just 1 camera at the back, 1 in front. So if you are buying the Huawei Nova 5T, you're definitely going to get more camera options, but we'll talk more about the camera later. Now, the Huawei Nova 5T has a larger 6.26-inch display as compared to the iPhone SE, which has a 4.7 inches display. So that means that when you're watching movies, you see more. When you are browsing, you see more. When you are playing games, you have just like a bigger screen real estate, so you can better enjoy the media that you are consuming or the content that you are consuming. Now, the iPhone SE has very large top and bottom bezel, so you are left with a very small screen real estate for consuming content. It's not bad if you want to have a phone that you can like hold in one hand and reach from the bottom to the top. So as compared to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, I can't comfortably reach the top of the phone with one hand. I need to, do all manner of gymnastics to be able to reach the top of the phone. So if you like one-handed use, then you'll probably go for the iPhone SE. But if you prefer the larger screen real estate, then I would recommend that you go for the Huawei Nova 5T. Still talking about the display, the Huawei Nova 5T has an IPS LCD display, and the iPhone SE also has an IPS LCD display. But the Huawei Nova 5T is a 1080p display, whilst the iPhone SE is a 720p display. So what that means is you're going to get better, higher quality videos and images on the Huawei Nova 5T that you're going to get on the iPhone SE. Though it's not going to be so noticeable, but at least when you're watching movies, when you're surfing the net, when you're doing day-to-day tasks, you are going to definitely prefer a higher image resolution than the 720p. Now let's talk about the processors on the two devices. The iPhone SE comes with Apple's latest flagship processor that you get on the iPhone 11, 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max, which is the A13 Bionic processor. And trust me, it's really fast. So I'm wondering, like an A13 Bionic processor in the body of an iPhone 7, that's like an overkill. That's like putting a Ferrari engine inside of what car can you compare it to? Like a Toyota Corolla? I don't know, but that's how it feels. It feels that this phone, the iPhone SE, is going to be super overpowered. Like it's going to be pretty fast. But then it's not just the processor which makes up the performance of a device. Things like the RAM and the storage type that the manufacturer is using all play a part, and optimization of the software. So in terms of RAM, the iPhone SE has 3 gigs of RAM, whilst the Huawei Nova 5T has 6 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM. Also, the Huawei Nova 5T comes with a really excellent processor, which is the high silicon Kirin 980 processor, which is the same processor that you find in the Huawei P30 Pro released in 2019. Now let's talk about battery, because obviously we need to talk about battery. Because the iPhone SE has a smaller form factor, it also has a smaller battery. And when I used my iPhone 7 for about 2 years, and that's one of the gripes I had with it, the battery performance was not too good. In fact, it was very terrible as compared to what I'm getting today on the iPhone 11 Pro Max and even the iPhone X. So in terms of numbers, the iPhone SE has a 1960 milliamperes of battery capacity, whilst the Huawei Nova 5T has 3750 milliamperes of battery capacity. So you are getting like almost 2 times the battery capacity if you decide to go for the Huawei Nova 5T. Now let's talk about storage options. With the iPhone SE, you get a base model of 64 gigs of storage all the way to 256 gigs of storage. However, with the Huawei Nova 5T, it's a different story altogether. It's amazing. You only get 128 gigs of storage, and it's not expandable. You don't get any other variant. So when you're buying it, you need to consider these 2 things. If you're getting an iPhone SE, perhaps you can get the highest storage variant, which is 256 gigs. But if you're getting the Huawei Nova 5T, you're not getting anything else. But then I found a really cool hack. If you are using the Huawei Nova 5T, you can use an OTG cable and then connect like your pen drive to it, or even an external hard disk to it, and you have, expanded storage. Though I mean, it's a bit cumbersome to be carrying a pen drive around and all that, but at least it's a good workaround for you to get expandable storage. So now let's talk about the cameras. Now you get a lot of options if you do decide to go for the Huawei Nova 5T instead of the iPhone SE, because obviously 4 cameras will give you more options than 1 camera, especially with the ultra wide camera. Like ultra wide is the rave now. You're able to put many more people into the frame. You're able to capture a larger area of a room or of an estate or whatever you are taking a picture of, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. So I would prefer going for the Huawei Nova 5T just in terms of the number of cameras. Now, in terms of what the iPhone SE has that the Huawei Nova 5T doesn't have, the iPhone SE is water resistant. Also, the iPhone SE has wireless charging, but the Huawei Nova 5T does not have wireless charging, though it has glass at the back of it. So now it becomes a matter of personal preference. Like, are you somebody who is crazy about the Apple ecosystem? Are you upgrading from an older version of an iPhone and you want to get an iPhone